One of these tools stores your entire knowledge base inside a single file. Not a folder of files, not a database. One self-contained file that you can email to someone and they open it in a browser and everything is there. Your notes, your formatting, your links between ideas, even the application itself. It has existed since 2004, and most people in the productivity space have never heard of it. The other two are cloud-based outliners that charge annual subscriptions, store your data on their servers, and require you to export if the company ever shuts down. One of them limits free users to 250 new items per month. The other removes that restriction, but users consistently describe its documentation as very weak. Three tools that all claim to organize your thinking, but disagree fundamentally on where your thoughts should live, who should control them, and whether you need an internet connection to access your own ideas. Dynalist positions itself as the practical alternative for anyone who wanted more structure than a single infinite outline could provide. The interface opens with a left sidebar showing folders and documents. Each document is its own outline with infinite nesting, meaning you can create separate outlines for different projects, areas of life, or reference material, and organize them into a folder hierarchy. The free tier is unlimited with no cap on the number of items you can create, which directly addresses the most common complaint about its closest competitor. The paid tier adds file attachments inside bullet points, custom styling, Google Calendar integration for surfacing deadlines, and priority support from the development team. Date-based features allow tasks and deadlines to surface automatically within the outline. The outliner mechanics work the same way as the competitor. You indent with one key, outdent with another, collapse and expand branches, and move items by dragging. The difference is organizational. Instead of one enormous outline containing everything, you separate concerns into distinct documents grouped into folders. The trade-off is documentation quality. Users report that the help resources do not adequately explain the syntax for advanced features, particularly date-based searching and filtering. The development team also created a separate product, a block-based note-taking application, and the community has questioned whether ongoing development focus is split between the two products. Cloud storage means your data lives on their servers with export available in structured formats if you need to leave. For anyone who hit the free tier limit on the minimalist competitor and wanted folders, file attachments, and unlimited items without paying, the free tier alone solves the most common migration trigger. The paid tier adds practical workflow features, but the documentation gap means discovering how to use them properly often requires searching, community forums, and third-party guides rather than relying on official resources. Workflowy launched with a single idea that defined its entire product. Everything lives in one outline. There are no folders, no separate documents, and no sidebar navigation. You open the application and see one list. Every thought, project, reference note, and task nests inside that single structure. The feature that makes this work is zoom. Click any bullet point and it fills the entire screen as though everything else in the outline has temporarily ceased to exist. That single bullet and all its children become your entire working context. Click the breadcrumb trail to zoom back out. The mental model is a single infinite piece of paper where you can dive into any section and work as though nothing else exists. The simplicity is deliberate, and the learning curve reflects it. Most users describe reaching competency in under an hour. Create bullets, indent to nest, click to zoom, search to find. That is essentially the entire feature set, and the community considers that a strength rather than a limitation. Tags, mirrors, and shared links expand the functionality, but the core experience remains an outline and nothing more. The free tier caps new items at 250 per month, which is the single most discussed limitation in every comparison. Casual users may never reach it, but anyone using the tool as a primary knowledge management system hits that ceiling within weeks. The paid tier removes the cap and adds additional features, including unlimited sharing, file uploads, extended backups, and custom themes. Data lives on company servers with export available in standard formats. For writers, minimalist thinkers, and anyone whose brain naturally organizes information in a single nested hierarchy, the zoom mechanic provides a focus experience that neither competitor replicates. The 250 item monthly cap on the free tier is the forcing function that drives migrations to both competitors. TiddlyWiki launched in 2004 as a single file, not a single application that creates files. The application itself is the file. You download one document from the project website, open it in a browser, and that document contains the entire wiki engine, all its formatting capabilities, its search functionality, and every note you will ever create inside it. When you save, the file rewrites itself with your new content included. Your entire knowledge base, the application that runs it, and every piece of content you have added exist together inside one self-modifying document that you can copy, email, store on a thumb drive, or drop into any cloud sync folder. The organizational model is fundamentally different from both competitors. Instead of nested bullet points arranged hierarchically, content is divided into tiddlers, which are the smallest meaningful units of information, comparable to index cards. Each tiddler can link to any other tiddler using wiki-style links that create connections between ideas without requiring them to sit in the same branch of a hierarchy. Tags group related tiddlers together. Filters retrieve tiddlers matching specific criteria. The result is a nonlinear knowledge structure where ideas connect by relationship rather than position. The learning curve is the steepest of the three at 5 to 10 hours for basic competency. Content is formatted using a markup language rather than a visual editor. Saving requires either a browser extension or a companion desktop application because browsers do not natively allow web pages to modify themselves on disk. Mobile access exists through a dedicated application on one platform and direct file editing on the other, but the experience is noticeably less polished than the native mobile applications both competitors offer. There is no real-time collaboration, no automatic cloud sync, and no vendor support beyond community forums, and an extensive open-source guide written by a community member. The file can grow to tens of megabytes containing thousands of notes with embedded images before browser performance begins to degrade. For most individual knowledge bases, that threshold is never reached. The project is maintained under a permissive open-source license with no company behind it, which means there are no subscriptions to cancel, no servers to depend on, and no terms of service that could change. If the project ceased development tomorrow, every existing file would continue to work in every browser indefinitely because the file contains everything it needs to run. For researchers, students, privacy-focused users, and anyone who has been burned by a service shutting down and taking their data with it, the single file model provides a guarantee that no cloud service can match. Your knowledge base is a file you own, and that file is the application. Dynalist, for anyone who outgrew the minimalist competitor's free tier limit and wanted folders, file attachments, unlimited items, and document-level organization without paying, accepting weaker documentation, and questions about development focus being split with a separate product. Workflowy for minimalist thinkers and writers whose brain naturally organizes in a single nested hierarchy, where the zoom mechanic provides unmatched focus and the learning curve measured in minutes rather than hours matters more than advanced features, accepting the 250-item monthly cap on the free tier and cloud dependency. TiddlyWiki for researchers, students, privacy advocates, and anyone who wants their entire knowledge base contained in a single file they own permanently with non-linear, wiki-style linking, no subscription, no vendor dependency, and no internet requirement, accepting a steeper learning curve, markup formatting, and a mobile experience that does not match the polish of either competitor. Every choice is a trade-off. At least now you know what you're trading.